Going on? All right, you know what time it is. You know what rhyme it is. I'm your gracious host, A6, the foreign national born natural, and we are out here getting busy. Live and direct, live in effect. What's going on with y'all? See what we got in the chat. What's going on, Jimmy? Good to have you here as usual. Truth Seeker, what's good with you? No, I'm running a little late today. Had to do some running around. Slid back up in the office as soon as I could, man. Literally. What's going on with you, Truth? I saw you comment on another channel too. I see a lot of guys I sit in here. I see other people commenting on other channels. It's just interesting. We all watch the same stuff pretty much because I think the amount of information about a lot of this stuff is so limited. But yeah, good to see you here, man. 24 Revealer. What's up from the Dominion of Canada? Okay. What's going on with you? Albert Taylor, what's good with you, man? How you feeling? All right. I didn't do too much. You know, as usual, I just pretty much took it easy. This weekend, I did a lot of reading. A lot of reading, which we will discuss. Since I'm running so late, I'm gonna need to take a minute and get set up here. So I need y'all to give me a slick minute. I'll be right back. All right, what's going on? Sorry about that. Like I said, I was running a little late, so didn't get a chance to upload what I wanted to talk about. But I do have a few things I want to do. What's going on with the camera? Yeah, all right, I did have a few things I wanted to show you guys that I did stumble upon. And just doing your research and following the channels I follow and all that stuff. And I stumbled upon a few things y'all might find interesting. Let's get this out of the way. There we go. Okay. All right, first things first. Let me show you guys this. Now, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys, if you been paying attention, which most of us do, you guys probably saw this right here. Check this out. All right, now look, this is on Unanswered Universe on Instagram. I got to unplug the headphones so you guys can see. But this is pretty much what I saw, and this is what they're doing with the White House. Take a look at this. Cut the music off. We don't really need music. And take a look at this. They got stone slabs being put out front of the White House. Like they look like the old school barriers, the concrete barrier walls, where they would have like a gun mounted on one of them, and then like they have the brick slabs so the soldier could just slide off real quick and upload or load in more of those machine gun rounds. Just theoretically, from what I'm seeing here, that's what it kind of looks like to me. And they're installing these bad boys all over the front and the sides of the White House. So it's almost like you've already got fences around like the Capitol and all those other buildings they put fences around down in Washington. So it just makes you wonder, why are they putting stone slabs out front of the White House? You know what I mean? Very interesting stuff. So yeah, Jimmy says that's a blasting wall. I believe that 100%, man. It's some wild shit. They're preparing for another psyop. I promise you. They're preparing as for another psyop. You know what I mean? Anytime stuff like that happens, it's always a psyop. They preparing for something else, man. It's probably gonna be along the lines of the January 6th joint from last year. You know, psyop they did where they had all the dudes run up in the White House, which a lot of them dudes turned out to be connected to politicians. The guy with the QAnon man with the horns on his head turned out to be dating what was it? Biden's daughter or something? I can't remember. It was somebody on his squad. He was dating their daughter, or he was connected romantically with their daughter. What is going on? Does my camera look weird to you guys? Something weird's going on with the camera. It was doing something weird a second ago. But yeah, so anyway, yeah, that was most definitely a psyop. So it wasn't what it seemed to be. A lot of people weren't trying to hear that though. So you know how that goes. But yeah, so I say if you see something happening with the White House, I mean, it could be anything. Just keep your mind open and remember that we talked about this. You know, so whatever they're doing, whatever they got planned, you know, it's got to have something to do with it. All right, let's go to the next one real fast. Let me knock these out of the way. Check this out. And we talked about Los Angeles. Look at this.
It's a stunning sight. Thousands of packages stolen right off of trains.
On Instagram.
If your UPS or Amazon package hasn't arrived, it might be somewhere here in this mess, discarded on a Union Pacific Railroad track near downtown LA. As freight trains slow down or come to a halt, the thieves leap on board with bolt cutters, open giant containers, and take whatever they want. This is what they leave behind. All these boxes, some empty, some not. Look, this box was full of COVID home testing kits.
How about
that? Precious product, tough to buy at many pharmacies. This bag held a bunch of UPS packages bound for homes across America. This Amazon envelope wasn't even opened. The thieves just tossed it away. Some of these boxes contained retail goods bound for America's empty store shelves. This track strewn with boxes stretches as far as you can see in both directions. This entire area was cleaned up in mid-December, which means that all of this came from train robberies in just the last month. And these are UPS and Amazon packages bound for all over the U.S. I see Everett, Washington. I see Portland, Oregon, Phoenix, Arizona, Stockton, California, on and on and on. So what are cops doing? This video shows a police officer chasing suspects off the tracks, but he didn't make an arrest. A Union Pacific spokesman told Inside Edition, while criminals are being caught and arrested, charges are reduced to a misdemeanor or petty offense, and the person is back on the streets in less than 24 hours after paying a nominal fine. In fact, criminals boast to our officers that there is no consequence. And the 21st century version of the Great Train Robbery goes on and on.
How about that, huh? So, as a result of everything that's going on, and hold on. As a result of everything that's going on, packages and stuff like that, store shelves, and everything they have going on, whatever. Packages not coming through. They're talking about Los Angeles is having an issue with people jumping on them bad boys and stealing packages. That's what they're saying anyway. And who knows what's actually happening? I'm not sure. I don't have any. I don't know anybody that lives out there to even ask. But only believe what is it? Less than 10% of what you see. So I mean, that's very interesting that they recover something like that. But it could be a false flag, definitely. My man says, Chris says, beware of false flags. Anyone hear about some lab monkeys or monies? Monkeys, I think he meant, getting loose in Pennsylvania. Now I ain't hear about that. Lab monkeys got loose. What kind of lab monkeys are we talking? We talking about like they get contaminated or something? Probably a scare tactic. You know how that goes. Probably a scare tactic. Something to make you something else to make you afraid. You know how it goes, man. You know how they do. All right, let's catch up on some of these comments. What's up, Chris? What's going on with you? James, love it. The Bad Wolf. What's up with you, man? Dustin's asking. We're not talking about that right now. With all due respect, Dustin. We're talking about that later if you want to hang on and ask later. And Jimmy says, definitely, that's a blasting wall. Yep, I agree with that 100%. All right, thank you. I was making sure because it started skipping at first. I was wondering why that was. What up, Tony? What's going on with you? Truth Seeker says that story has to be a setup. Yeah, I agree. It's something not right about it. Something doesn't sit right with me on that. You know what I mean? Like people are just hopping on trains and just stealing pack. First off, how would you even pull off the task of hopping on a train to steal packages? Like I know damn well them boxcars are locked. So how the hell are people even getting in them joints? You know what I mean? Are they riding beside them on horseback with ball cutters to cut them open and jump on there and take some packages? Like, what's actually really good with that? You know what I mean? What are the mechanics to actually stealing stuff off of a train now? Because you know damn well they're bolted or they've got like padlocks or something on them. And if they're in motion, it's gonna be extra hard to pull off something like that, with equipment and all that stuff. So yeah, I'm not sure about that one particularly. Albert says yes. 28 days later begins. Yeah, with the loose monkey. That's crazy. Infected monkeys running around scratching people and causing people to be sick, like the Raccoon City joint. I actually watched Resident Evil Raccoon City Friday night. Actually, I watched it Thursday night, I think. It wasn't bad, honestly. I never really played any of the Resident Evil games because they're not really for me. I'm actually more of a Silent Hill guy myself from back in the day. But the movie was actually very interesting because it reminded me of part, I want to say one, maybe it was two, one of the ones, but it stuck very true to the game. But it was actually very interesting because what was the company called? Umbrella Company was supposed to be a heavy pharmaceutical company. Yeah, and we all know the connection between the CIA, psyops, and all that stuff like that. So it actually was Raccoon City was actually a heavy pharmaceuticals company, and what they were doing, they were having leakage out of their factory that was getting in the water supply, and slowly it was starting to poison the city more and more. And you had situations where people got so messed up, eventually they started to turn into what's called zombies. So at that point, you started to have people trying to leave the city, but you had the military blocking people in and shooting people while they were trying to leave to contain the virus. It was crazy, yo. But yeah, that's definitely some interesting stuff. But yeah, I would recommend definitely if you're not into video games, you can still watch it and enjoy it. And just see how the government in that movie moved because they was moving real funny style with the way they were trying to contain that virus. It was messed up. Rage monkeys. What up, Dustin? Beware of the monkeypox scare. The monkeypox. I ain't heard that in a minute. The monkeypox. I ain't hear about that in a while, man. What up, Lord Val? What's good with you? Good movies, Resident Evil. I actually like the majority of the Resident Evil movies because I saw, I think they had 5 of them. I saw like 3. I thought they were the ones I saw were good. I wasn't disappointed in any of them, honestly. Oops, hold on. Knock my damn envelopes over. Chris says Wag the Dog is a movie I recommend. Okay, I'm at to look into Wag the Dog. What is it about, Chris? I love the Resident Evil series games, the Silent Hill series. Silent Hill is on another level. Like if you want to mess around with horror, you might as well just go hard. If you gonna play a horror game, just go hard. Just go hard and play Silent Hill. Even the movies, the Silent Hill movies was dope. Like I liked the first one was my favorite. The second one was slick too, though, for real. But I enjoyed the Silent Hill series a lot. But yeah, I mean, you look at this stuff and you look at the monsters and stuff like that, and you know, the sundown towns, don't be outside after dark. When that little alarm goes off, stuff starts to get weird. Yeah, the T virus. Exactly. Exactly. I'm just saying, now, if there was like, let's say there was a zombie apocalypse, how many of y'all are prepared right now? Theoretically, let's just talk around, play around a little bit with the idea. If it was a zombie apocalypse tomorrow, how many of y'all would be fucked? Keep it a buck, yo. Let's keep it a stack. Because at the end of the day, we need to be honest with each other and with ourselves. Is anybody prepared for something? There's a blackout or something like that, And don't forget, you ain't just got to worry about the zombies. You got to worry about the people. The ones that's alive, a bigger threat than the zombies are, because they scheming. They trying to get everything you got basically to make their camp stronger and stuff like that. I played another game I had played was The Last of Us. So I actually played that joint, and that was along the same lines of Resident Evil. They had like a spore outbreak, and they were saying that people got sick from spores or something like that, and the spores would plant to people's brains and it would turn them into zombies because the spores would actually control their brain cells. And I actually did some reading that could actually happen. There are plants out there that can actually root in your brain and actually control the way you think. I think it's like fungus or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, they were saying that could actually happen. It's like a 1 in 20 million chance of it happening, but it could actually potentially happen if it were to possess your brain. What's good, Nicole? How you feeling? Chris says, Wag the Dog is about government theatrics made up to sway the sleeping public, false flags. Okay, that sounds like something I'd be interested in. Yeah, I wrote that down, man. Good looking out, Chris. Neuralink detect parasite. Yeah. The Neuralink. We talked about that too. But they're supposed to be developing that chip that hooks your brain directly to Google, and it'll make anybody an instant genius overnight. If your brain's connected to Google, you automatically a genius off the rip. Yeah, Neuralink is that's going to be all tied in with the what is it? The metaverse. I was going to say multiverse. The metaverse is going to be tied with that and everything. So yeah, all that stuff's coming. This is all tech that's on the way. 100%. All right, let's get back to this right here. Now, let me show you something else I just looked up not too long ago. I can't say the word, so I'm going to just let you guys read it off the screen because they be tripping about the word. You got to move very, very strategically in these interwebs. All right, so check this out. All right. So this says Yale research team develops wearable clip to detect that. So apparently, researchers at the Yale School of Public Health have developed a wearable clip that can detect if a person may have been exposed to that. The device captures V-laden aerosols that deposit on polydimethylsiloxane. Let me try it again. Polydimethylsiloxane. I got it. PDMS surface, according to study published earlier this month in a peer-reviewed journal, Environmental Science and Technology Letters. Crystal Godry Pollitt, who led the team of researchers who developed the clip, told Fox News it came about through her research measuring a person's exposure to environmental factors. Through that work, I developed wearable tools that we can measure our exposure to lots of different chemicals within the air. Now, listen to what she just said, all right? Listen to what she just said. Through that work, I developed wearable tools that we can measure our exposure to lots of different chemicals within the air and other airborne factors. All right. That's a telltale sign right there. And we've been talking about the chemtrails and the sprays and how 1 minute they'll spray checkerboard all over the city, and then 2 hours later it's a big thick haze cloud all over, and the sun can't even hardly get through. Everything looks white. People are fighting. People are depressed. People don't know why they not feeling well. People are getting sick, coughing and stuff like that. Boom. You know what I mean? The wearable clip is designed to be reusable with the polymer films being changed. It is intended as a complementary device to at-home TKs. I'm not even going to say that. We're moving strategically. We want to go a step before that and be able to start thinking about, do we need more infectious control measures in place? Do we need less people in this space? Do we need more ventilation? Godfrey Pollitt said. And also thinking about if people are at potential risk for being eyed. But we're going to say that. If we detect it within the air, there's a good chance that maybe those people are at risk and should be queuing. All right. Godfrey Pollitt told Fox News there's a lot of potential in expanding the clip to other RVs. The clip is not yet publicly available, but Godfrey Pollitt hopes it will be in the near future. All right. So that's what they're working on. They show Moldavite and all that other stuff. But yeah, that's what they're working on right here. So that's something to keep your eye out for. They already talking about pushing the envelope with the quote unquote science. But I like how they said in there it detects chemicals. If this is supposed to be something that's from people's bodies in terms of just like saliva or something like that, or somebody sneezing or coughing, chemicals shouldn't even come into play. But if she's devised something to detect chemicals, this could be what we were talking about. You know what I mean? Yeah, definitely. Everybody, please like the video. We got 15 heads in here. If all 15 could all simultaneously mash the like button, that'd be great. So we can get the message out. Also, if you can, share the video, man. If anybody you know is into this kind of stuff and they want to get on here and we can have the, join the Discord and we can get busy talking about it. Like I said, this is like a relief valve for a lot of us. You go moving through the matrix with all these people who plugged up and don't know what's going on. You try to talk to people who ain't engaged. Only an initiated can be able to understand the lingo. So it's good to get in here and hook up with a bunch of people that are initiated. You know what I mean? You connect. Jordan Thomas, what up, man? We the people need to make the distinction between fiction and being a man. The legal system plays with words. We must have absolutely, but I'm not talking about that right now, Jordan. But you're absolutely right. Yeah, we're talking about different stuff here so far. All right. Let me share with y'all something else. I got you. Give me a second. Now look at this. I've seen this twice on two different websites. Look at this. The IRS will soon require selfies for online access. Now this is interesting. This is something y'all better be paying attention to. All right. Because anybody knows if anybody's doing anything with trusts, so if anybody's doing anything with estates and all that stuff people like to do, this is going to be important. All right. Listen to this. If you created an online account to manage your tax records with the U.S. Internal Revenue Service, these login credentials will cease to work later this year. The agency says by the summer of 2022, which is this year, the only way to log into irs.gov will be through ID.me, an online identity verification service that requires applicants to submit copies of bills and identity documents, as well as live video feed of their faces via a mobile device. Now, check this out, all right? We talked about being a robot takeover and people not working at jobs anymore because you got robots and computers that can do the job for them. All right. So we got an issue where, Supreme Court just passed that ruling in terms of the particular C situation that everybody was worried about and we weren't. They just passed a law that basically said there's no mandatory requirement for over 100 employees to get the old Jabberooski. So that being said, the motions were still put in place, and this has probably been planned for a long time. But I mean, less employees, less people working, because one reason or the other, more computers to do the jobs for them. So they talking about a facial ID. See, it's right there. They already showed you the template right here. This is what it's going to look like. ID.me. That's what it's going to be. It's not going to be anymore using your credentials you already set up if you even have them set up on there. So, this is it's slowly starting to turn into machine city, electric city. All right. Now, I'm not reading this whole damn thing because I don't feel like it, but you can read this yourself. All right. If y'all interested in it, which I suggest everybody do, please look into that because that's probably going to affect a lot of people who are interested in trust in the states, especially those of them who procrastinated and never even got them in the first place. If you want to get an LLC and all that stuff, I can imagine that would be an issue too. So please do read into that, man. Please do read into that. All right, now the next bit of information I'm gonna give you is just for informational purposes. I am not responsible for whatever you decide to do with this information. It is strictly for informational purposes only, and I do not give legal advice. But I did stumble upon this right here. So I know a couple people that did the I-9 form, and they were like, "Man, this I-9 form is dope. As a non-citizen national, American national, what have you, the federal tax disappears. That's awesome." So I said, "Yeah, well, it is what it is." They said, "Well, it'd be awesome if I can get rid of the Social Security too." Well, a lot of people don't even know that it's voluntary. So um, if you're interested, this might be something you can look into. Request for withdrawal of application. You can withdraw your consent from what this sheet says to pay into Social Security, pretty much. All right. So take a note there. SSA 521. That's what the form's called. SSA 521. So if that's something you are interested in or you think you'd be interested in, take a note and look into it. Look into it if you desire. All right, let's catch up on the comments. What up, Zakiba? My man, we live. Yes, sir. Did anybody check out the anti-V demonstration in Washington, D.C.? Nah, I didn't. When did that happen? I missed that. I heard about it, them setting up for it, but I never heard the continuance. You got to have a lot of balls to go in D.C., knowing what we know, and be talking about some anti-V. To go to the United States and tell them niggas, I don't want no damn V. You got a lot of balls to do some shit like that. Carl Trombley, yes, sir, absolutely. Truth Seeker says I'll be calling or mailing to communicate. A lot of people was doing fax for a minute too. So if y'all wasn't using the internet in the first place, it's not going to be a big deal to you guys. You can call or you can mail in, absolutely 100%. But some people like to do everything online, but they can regulate it. They already have services that can do a video mock-up of you. Big fraud with your idea. Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. How about those deep fake technologies they have? How about that? I know you talking about some tech. That's scary technology right there. You know what I mean? That's scary. What up, A6 chemtrail should be the first thing that should detect. Right. How about that? Now you know that if she gets too close to discovering something she ain't supposed to discover, them boys them alphabet boys gonna step in there and start tinkering with shit. You know what I mean? Certain aspects of her creation she ain't gonna have control over. You know how that goes. I ain't see it, yo. Nah, I ain't see that, man. I ain't see it. Somebody send me a link to that, man. We can cover that. Yeah. Yeah, it's the news, and the news don't cover certain stuff, but I don't wear certain shit getting out. 100%. Yeah, but no, I didn't see it at all. I heard about it like 2 weeks ago that they were supposed to be doing something like that. But me, even though I'm like an hour from DC, I am not interested in going. I try not to go to DC at all, knowing what I know now. I don't even want to eat in DC. Fuck that. Energy's off over there, yo. Like I told y'all, when I went, every time I go to DC, even from back in the day, anytime you go to DC and you use the navigation system, it goes haywire. It just goes completely bonkers. It's just that whole energy of deception around that joint. Numbers ain't right on buildings on the navigation. It'll zoom you all the way. Like if you go ahead and put in where you want to go, how you put the navigation where you want to go, or whatever, on the phone, and then you press enter, and it zooms in and it shows you past certain exits, bro. I literally put that joint on the phone while we were leaving DC from getting the World Citizen Passport like 4 videos ago, and it zoomed all the way out. So I'm looking at the whole entire country. Like, what the hell? I'm trying to zoom in, and when you zoom in, you might see where you are temporarily, but then you're gonna drive right or ride right past that particular area. So then you gotta follow it. So if you recenter, it pulls you all back out. So it's completely confusing, man. The whole energy of DC is just, I don't like it. It's a bad feeling. So I try not to go there whenever I can. Try to stay away from that joint. Earlier, okay, it was earlier today and was a good one about pharmaceutical company. Interesting. That's very interesting. I go as far as to say that might have been a psyop too, for real. They got levels to this psyop shit. You best believe they got levels to it. Feel me? Yeah, you know what? That dude never hit me back. I gotta email him again. He never hit me back. I emailed him and basically reached out. He probably gets a shitload of emails. So I'm gonna have to reach out to him again. But yeah, he was supposed to email me back, and I was supposed to get him on here and interview him so you guys can, because I'm pretty sure we usually average about over 200 views on this channel per video. So, I'm pretty sure a considerable amount of state citizens, non-citizen nationals, foreign nationals, and such will be interested in getting their hands on that world citizen passport. You know what I mean? So, yeah, absolutely, 100%. I got to get back and reach out to him, man. I know last time I talked to him, he said he was sick with the flu, basically, which he called it something else. So he was like, "Yeah, you can't come to the office because I'm sick or something like that." So you know, the spiel. It says you can order it online. It takes a few weeks. I was like, I'd rather have you come on and the show when I interview you, and then from there, you can go ahead and shoot your shit, and then people will buy your product. They absolutely control both sides. Yes, sir. That's what the shit. That's what all the Bilderbergs, the Rockefellers, all those big groups that control both sides. They funded both sides of the wars, if I'm not mistaken. It's a win-win for them. It's a big ass game of Stratego for them, I think. I stopped paying attention to the processes when they start showing up on Fox News. Right. Yeah, Fox News is nothing but controlled opposition also. People be thinking Fox News. It kills me because them Trump supporters and stuff like that, they still think that Trump was like a savior. I'm like, bro, listen, if you think for 1 second the opposition is gonna let somebody like that get in that type of position to have power over any damn thing, you are insane. And you still falling for the narrative, You gotta realize that this the whole entire system is under control. Nobody's getting in that office that don't belong in there. Trust me, you can forget that shit. You ain't even gonna run. Remember back in 2016 when a guy named D's Nuts ran? He actually won his local area. I think it was like the first round or something. He passed the first round, and it was like, yo, nah, you can't run. It was some reason they got. I think it was an age thing or something like that. Like, yo, you can't run because you're 20 years old. But he already made it out of the first round. And when they start to really look into people after they pass the first round of elections and shit like that, people voted for him. It was like fuck Trump and fuck Hillary Clinton. I'm just gonna vote for these nuts and be done with it. And motherfuckers legitimately did that shit. And he got out of the first round. That was crazy. But yeah, you ain't gonna get but so far until they'll vet you. You gonna get up out of there if you're not down with the program. You know, you might fuck around and go missing if you go any further than that. Controlling both sides creates creates the division and illusion of choice. Exactly. And it's funny. The only way to win is to not play. You know what I mean? Trump was the father of the vaccine. Yeah, I almost said it. Trump was the father of that. Trump likes to take the guns. Yo, Trump. I told somebody that just this past week. A guy that I talk to all the time. European dude, real cool with. He was like, "Yeah, man, you see how what the country's headed. You see what they tried to do to Trump." I'm like, "Yo, actually, we believe in the Second Amendment. Do you know Trump has passed the most gun control out of any president in U.S. history?" And I say U.S. history, and I meant that shit. Do you know that? Like, yo, Trump has passed more gun control than any president in U.S. history. He's supposed to be pro Second Amendment. You know what I'm talking about? Dude was talking about banning bump stocks. They still trying to get bump stocks unbanned. They still fighting for that shit. But yeah, they don't pay attention to stuff like that though, because the Fox News don't talk about that. They watch Fox News. If you're gonna watch Fox News, you also gotta watch CNN. You can't just watch one of them. You gotta watch both and watch what they're saying about each other. Then you gotta actually look at an unbiased source, which there's some unbiased sources out there. Trust me. You can also do your own reading. But there's unbiased news sources out there that'll just report it how it is. And you'll get the Fox News right winger spin and you'll get the CNN left wing spin. You know what I mean? But it's all a game, man. It's a losing of choice. You know what I'm talking about? Like shit. Like I said, Trump pushed the first poke. He pushed the first one. He was the first dude. I think the first round came from Trump. You know what I mean? We was talking about freedom and shit like that. Like that shit was under him. Y'all gonna conveniently forget that though, right? We gotta stop being clinging to politicians. You know what I mean? Then watch industry hoax for industry hoax revealed, bro. Yo, Bad Wolf. Did you see the joint about Pac? Now I already knew Pac was on some shit. And I suspected after I saw the video when he was 16 with that interview. And I ain't throwing no dirt nobody's way, son. That's not what we do on this channel. But let's just say when I saw that interview, that blew that shit wide open for me. I'm like, yo, that dude was an actor, yo. He was acting. And I put the pieces together like, yo, this dude went to Baltimore School of the Arts. I was in the acting game back in the day. I was real heavy into that shit when I was younger. But yo, check it out. The acting game, a lot of them dudes that was the most talented actors came from Baltimore School of the Arts. I seen them myself. A lot of those dudes were very talented. So I was like, yo, you got somebody like Pac who's basically pretending and he's acting like this macho dude, spitting at cameras and stuff like that. Fuck you too, Chino XL. Fuck Jay-Z. And you know what I mean? Everything is F you, F this, F that. He wilded off the chain when he started doing the movies and stuff like that. It was an actor, yo. And they were saying that his name wasn't even Tupac Shakur. His name was like Lust. It began with an L. Cooks was his last name, though. And they were saying that his mother wasn't even his real mom. She probably was a CIA actress too. And the only connection between Cooks was when she shared a cell. Her jailmate cell last name was Cooks. So they were saying maybe it has something to. I don't know. It was convoluted as hell. But they were like, yo, the only connection we could find with her Cooks would be her jailmate, cellmate, when she supposedly did time in jail. The cellmate's last name was Cooks. So yeah. But yeah, that shit was crazy. They said Nipsey Hussle was a CIA agent too and admitted it on the Breakfast Club. That was crazy. And they said the Tupac and Biggie beef was fake. They said the Biggie's killing was they said that shit was fake. Man, listen, yo, that shit was crazy. It blew my mind. But yeah, check out Industry Hoax Revealed. I watched almost a whole damn channel. They go hard on Pac on that joint. They got like 13 Pac videos on there. Yeah, they went hard, man. Yeah, definitely check out Industry Hoax Revealed if you can. Gun laws are for the 14th. I have my full auto in. See, you must be rich if you got a full auto, because the only thing stopping most people from getting a full auto is the goddamn the price of them shits are 30 bands. Like, yo, 30 bands, bro, like an M16. You could actually, even a US citizen can buy a 14th Amendment citizen can buy one. You gotta get permission from the federal government and shit like that. But yo, the other obstacle is them shits cost $30,000. Like an AK-47 fully automatic costs $45,000. Like, here's what I don't have: $40,000. You know what I mean? But you know how it goes. Yeah, that's what's up, Jimmy. Yeah, Jimmy be on the shit. Yo, yeah, man. The whole stuff, that whole thing is crazy with the whole Tupac thing. Now I found out Tupac was acting years ago. Like, I found out Pac was an actor probably about, I want to say, 10 years ago. I knew he was acting. And when I looked at the rest of his career, I'm like, yo, this dude's an actor. This dude's a freaking actor, yo. He's an actor. You know what I mean? We hear all them rapping and shit like that. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if that wasn't even him rapping, because Big Psych, who was actually in his group, who was supposed to sound just like Pac, that might not even have been Tupac really rapping on them tracks. That might have been Big Psych. Because if y'all remember when Tupac died, there was a dude who was releasing music that sounded just like him. And they was like, who the fuck is that? And it turned out to be Big Psych, who sounded just like Tupac. But yeah, So there you have it. You know, that dude was probably performing the tracks, even writing all the music and all that stuff. Pac was the image. You know what I mean? I didn't watch all the Pac videos. I'm pretty sure they mentioned the Big Psych joint, and then they said Biggie Smalls, dude was you know, dude was supposed to be a hoax too. But at the end of the day, there was the dude Shine who was down with Bad Boy that sounded like Biggie a little bit, and then there was a dude from the West Coast, Gorilla Black, that sounded exactly like he sounded more like Biggie than Shine did. And that blew everybody away because it was like, yo, the second, third coming of Biggie. You know what I mean? That's why Shine got on because Shine sounded just like Biggie Smalls. But yeah, it could have been a situation where it was another dude. I mean, this is psyop on psyop on psyop, bro. This is 100%. You know what I mean? You gotta really just think about it. Like everything you know might just not be true. Nah, Pac ain't dead, man. Absolutely not. Well, let's call it real, Jimmy. Pac is dead because Pac was the character. So yes, the character's dead, but the actual man who played Tupac, Mr. Cooks, is not. Yeah, Lassane Parish Crooks. Cooks. It was a Cooks. Yeah, it was Cooks. Lassane Parish Cooks. Yep. And shit, I told y'all, man, when I talked to people that used to go to school with Tupac, yo. My my uh my cousin, she went to Baltimore School of the Arts. And she went to school with Pac. And she said, yo, he used to get beat up on the way home from school. That's what she said. On the way home from school, he used to get beat up because people would call him fruity and shit like that. And that's what she said. She's like, dudes would call him because they was hard on mofos back in the day. Dude was fruity, dudes would beat him up and shit, try to toughen him up and shit like that. Rough on him, you know. But dude ended up leaving here. But originally he was born in New York, from what I understand. Then he moved here. He lived here for a minute. That's where he met Jada Pinkett. And a lot of people said Jada Pinkett was messing with him like that, but nah, they probably was sister girls for real. Him and Jada, because you know, a woman's best friend usually can be a dude who play for the same team she does. You know what I mean? Which I ain't calling nobody out for it, but whatever. Ain't trying to get the shit banned. Puppets on the string. That's what they all are. Yep. Absolutely. You know what's even more baffling to me? Daylight. Anybody who knows Daylight, Daylight's a battle rapper from Cali and shit. He was saying Nipsey Hussle, nobody knew where Nipsey Hussle came from. Nipsey Hussle just showed up one day when they was like 8. So like if that's the case, bro, they training these mofos since the day they born to be agents. Like how does that even work? Like I know I heard about child soldiers and shit like that, but yo, CIA agents as kids, like shit. How does that even work? Like somebody would find out, I would think eventually. You know what I mean? Somebody would find out what was going on. They would say something to somebody. That's a whole nother level, man. That's crazy, yo. But yeah, that joint blew me away. He was like, yo, to this day, don't nobody know where Nipsey Hussle came from. He just showed up one day and we was all from the hood and we all just got along and shit like that, even though they was with different gangs and shit, you know. But he just showed up one day and he was just down with the squad. So, dude, it I wouldn't be surprised if they had normal people, like the CIA legitimately had actors like in big time street roles. You know what I mean? That got some form of diplomatic immunity that can get away with some type of crime in order to keep the illusion up. I would not be surprised at this point because that shit complete. Because Nipsey was supposed to be real heavy in the streets. From everything I understand, like I actually met Daylight before. And I got his number on my phone and shit. So I talked to Daylight a few times. And Daylight, Daylight's with the set. He was with the set ever since he was growing up. And the thing about these gangs and stuff like that in Cali, you don't just join a gang when you're 18. It don't work like that. You know what I mean? Nah. You grow up with dudes, your uncles and aunties, and your grandfather was a Crip and shit like that, or blood. You know what I mean? Those gangs and stuff like that, Latin Kings, that's family shit. You grow up in it because that's just what it was. Some people who grew up in it don't even really bang like that. They just, they claim the flag because that's just what it is, you know. But yeah, over there, man, it's a different culture. Trump asked, you said take the guns and then do the process later. Yeah, right. He did say that. Take the guns and go through the process later on. He said that. That's what the red flag joint. Yeah, he did say that. Oh yes, sir. We getting busy. I got more for y'all, though. Don't worry, man. After we get off this topic, I got more for y'all. Damn, just about everything is a lie. Where the truth at? Yo, listen, bro. It's not a game out here, yo. A lot of these actors and stuff like that, and a lot of these rappers and all that, yo, a lot of these rappers are actually related to people who was in the industry before them. They was talking about how Eminem got on. They say Eminem got on because they was from Detroit. And you remember Motown was real big in Detroit before it fell over. But Eminem got on through Proof, and you know Proof had, I think his grandfather was in, I think he was a record exec or something like that in Motown. You know, so that's that. That's how M got on. M got on through Proof. You know what I mean? It turned out some of these new rappers like Lil Yachty and stuff like they was talking about Lil Yachty because I think the video was called "Why You'll Never Be a Mainstream Rapper" or something like that. But Lil Yachty, dude, literally said, "I'm not even a rapper." While he was on the radio, they tried to give him a freestyle, and he was terrible. And they was like, "Yo, you know." Even Tekashi 6ix9ine came out and was like, "Yo, listen." He was like, "It's a lot of y'all in this chat right now that can probably rap 1,000 times better than me." He was like, "Way nicer than me with the pen, but you'll never be where I'm at because the game is rigged." And this is 6ix9ine said that himself, and we all know 6ix9ine like to talk. He said that shit out of his own mouth. And you know that whole shit with 6ix9ine, and you know what I mean, that the court shit, that shit was fake too. All that shit was fake. But you know, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, a lot of these rappers that come out there and mumbling and don't have no talent, people wonder how they got on. The motherfuckers is related to dudes that was already in the industry, yo. Facts. They getting on through ties. A lot of them ain't got no skills. You know what I mean? They don't need skills. Just hire a ghostwriter, put a dope beat behind a joint, and call it mumble rap and sell a bunch of copies. Because people gonna buy it because people, they stupid. The sheeple are stupid. They gonna buy shit like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, 100%, man. A lot of the rappers that get on that people say whack as shit, it's because a lot of them motherfuckers is related to other dudes. In the 90s and stuff like that, that might have been the first layer of foundations the cast that came out. But you know, instead of just hiring a random dude from somewhere else, they're gonna pass it to their little cousin. The Migos. That's another group. You know, two of the Migos is cousins. I think it's Offset and Takeoff are cousins. And then what's his name? Quavo. I don't think Quavo is related to him, but they all got in probably through an ancestor, a relative, or something like that. That might not even be in the music industry. Dude might be in the Hollywood industry, just like acting or something like that. Like you know, some film director or something might have little cousins or you know that rap or something like uncles or nieces that rap. You know, put them on and stuff like that. That's how it goes. It's all related. That's why they say Hollywood is more about who you know than it is about you know who you are. It's more about who you know, really. You know somebody that can get you in there. Even if you don't got no damn talent for real. You got the look and you willing to play ball. That's what it is. 100%. It's the elbow call. First you have 40K. First you have, oh yeah, you talking about privately. Yeah, you're right. Second doesn't cost anywhere near that to make your own. Yeah. We're not getting into that, Jimmy. Maybe we can talk about that privately, but we're not going to talk about it in the public. Nah, that's a private conversation. I'm gonna act like I didn't even see that. I've been watching Industry Hoax, and it's a good one. Yeah, he comes with the T, man. Definitely, he comes with the T, and it's verifiable, man, because a lot of it makes sense. Like, yo, why are these dudes getting on that can't rap? Why is there so many industry rappers that suck? You know what I mean? Why can't these dudes rap at all? How did we go from Method Man, Raekwon, and Common to Lil Yachty and freaking Quavo and Takeoff and all these other guys? How do we go from that? It's a backwards regression. Well, it's very simple. You didn't have to have skills to get on now. Back then, you had to be nice. You had to be able to rap to get on back in the day. Pac was introduced to influence the thug. Yeah, absolutely. Because conscious rap, and I didn't even watch the video about that, but I know the story with that. Conscious rap was real popular back in the day. They had a lot of tracks that actually were very uplifting for the urban community or the Aboriginal Black quote unquote culture. And a lot of the music was uplifting and it was changing the vibration. So people were starting to be pro-African and stuff like that. You know what I mean? The motherland, you know, let's band together and be brothers. Let's get the drugs out of our community. Let's build our communities up. Let's take care of the children. Let's get in the house and be a husband. Let's make sure we take care of our families. Let's band together as a community, pull our resources together, and let's make it. Let's do it ourselves instead of having to rely on the man to do it. That's what hip hop was originally supposed to be about. So now you got this guy coming from the West Coast, let alone NWA. They was another thing that did it. NWA and Pop, the gangster stuff. And when that shit hit the shelves, boy, it was over. You had all them white boys from the suburbs buying that stuff. That's how it got on. It got on through the white children in the suburbs really making it real popular. You know what I mean? So once they found out what was hot in the hood, they started to put that shit out and it started to be a thing, you know? And then boom, when you start making money off of it, that's when you have guys who are tied in with the people, them people. That's when you had them start coming in. You know, a lot of people said the juice did it. I don't disagree with that, but yeah, 120%. All right, Jada was a transformer. Yo said a transformer. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised at that, yo. Cause I'm looking at Jada when she got older, bruh, and her face look a little, you know what I mean? Like something not right about her face, you know? And I try to give her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe she older, but nah, that don't and we all know what side, you know, we heard stories about Will and what side he bat for. Somebody said that guy that kissed him on the mouth. You know, dude kissed him on the mouth because he be letting motherfuckers kiss him on the mouth, apparently. But you know, that's a whole other conversation for another day. But yeah, yo, so yeah. But yeah, Will Smith be on some shit. If you remember that movie, 6 Degrees of Separation. Oh, that shit threw me for a loop. I'm watching that movie and I'm like, what? You know, what the fuck is this shit? That shit was crazy. If you haven't watched that movie, it's right along the lines what we're talking about, and proceed with caution. Okay, I'll put it that way because it's gonna sneak up on you. Listen, man, y'all tripping right now, bro. We not having this conversation on this channel. We not talking about that. That's a private conversation, and it's not just because you know, external forces. It's because some motherfuckers don't know how to act. So when we talk about stuff like that, it's gotta be private. I'm not gonna be held responsible for that shit. You know what I mean? You ain't gonna find out no information on this channel about shit like that. And we'll leave it at that. I'm not talking about you, Truth. I'm talking about something else I just looked at. And yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. They breed them and release them. Like the show Utopia. I still haven't watched Utopia yet. I gotta watch Utopia. I'm so behind on the movies. I've been doing reading though. It's a good series that talks about that. Okay. Yo, that's crazy. I was just looking up some Pac. Yo, Pac was a fake, yo. It was a fake. Tupac was a fake. The whole Tupac Shakur, or even no. Listen? Think of how deep the roots go. If this motherfucker had a fake passport with Tupac Shakur on it, because you ain't getting no passport on a fake name. You can forget that shit. Not us anyway. Maybe somebody like him could, but you know how it goes. Shalom, shalom, idol, shalom. Phyllis Floyd, what's up, Phyllis? Brother, all the male rappers are homosexual and Sean Combs is the kingpin. I believe that, yo. I believe that. I'm not gonna put the Wu-Tang in that category, though. I'm not willing to put the Wu-Tang on that boat. I can't put the Wu-Tang on that boat, yo. I can't, yo. But I do know for a fact that Exhibit has some stories about you know, my man Exhibit. That's why he fell off, because he said something about Combs and shit. You know, he was like, he went over to a Combs party. They said this dude Combs is a wild boy. It's still on YouTube if you want to watch it, but this dude Combs is a wild boy. I heard stories from women. I've heard stories about what was it gonna say? I've heard stories about you know, women's men, you know, leaving with Combs. I ain't getting involved in that. You feel me? Dude, look at the cartoons we had in the 80s compared to today. We had Volition, G.I. Joe, Voltron, you mean? G.I. Joe and stuff. He-Man, stuff that made you aggressive. Now you got SpongeBob. Yeah, that's a fact. I said the cartoons changed a while ago. I said that a while ago. Yeah, absolutely. The entire gangster rap is programmed by a cabal that owns prison bonds and private prisons so that the lyrics would influence listeners to act out these. Yes, sir. I 100% believe that, man. I remember back when the Rockefeller era was real popular, and I hated the Rockefeller era because state property, particularly, state property era bugged me because it had so many kids that I knew was not hard, acting hard and pretending to be something they wasn't. It's a lot of people still in jail to this day because of that era. You got mofos that's in jail now they've been locked up since 2004 because of the shoot 'em up, bang bang era. That's facts. 100% facts. Motherfuckers carrying that shit out, thinking that shit's a game. What they don't know is a lot of them dudes that wrote them lyrics, motherfuckers came from college and shit. Motherfuckers went to college, dudes came from real nice suburban areas where it wasn't no crime enough, not much crime. You know what I mean? Pretending to be. And that's why I never got with that shit, because I was never that kind of dude myself. I was always, you know what I mean, a thinking type dude. I was always type dude to always want to know why stuff worked the way it did. I ain't really give a fuck about none of that gangster shit. That wasn't me, you know. Instead of waiting for epic hero to rise, create an controllable fake leader to lead astray and reap them only to begin again. Yep, 100%. Talk about it for entertainment purposes. Hey man, listen, here's what I'm not gonna do. I'm not gonna talk about that for entertainment purposes or any purposes. You know what I mean? Nah. If you want to look into that, there's plenty of channels out there that'll tell you how to do it. There's even machines that can make them for you. That's as far as I'm gonna go with that. I ain't talking about that no more. Y'all killing me, man. Y'all killing me, man. Y'all killing me. Yeah, y'all killing me. All right, so look, I'm going back to this information I want to read y'all. All right, now check this out. I want to read this off to you guys because this is from The Art of Passing the Buck. Now, I've been reading this book and I'm trying to get through it. I actually picked out, shout out to Yosef. Yosef actually taught me a technique on how to speed reading, which actually worked out really well. So I'm able to clear twice as many pages as I was able to clear before. So I guess with more practice with the speed reading technique, I'll be able to start knocking some of these books down because I got more books. I got like 4 books I got to get through, so, get busy with it. All right, let me read this to you, man. This is from chapter 18. And this is talking about offshore and foreign trusts. All right, y'all been asking me about trusts and stuff like that. So I've been digging into it. Now listen to this. For those who are unaware of jurisdictional issues and why they are important, it works like this. The place, the venue, where you operate your life has certain rules and procedures. What rules you break determine what judge you go before. Some offenses, for example, are against a city or county, some ordinances against state laws, and some against federal laws. The same is true with the trust. The place of venue, the situs of the trust, is stated in the trust indenture. For example, the place can be the state of California or it can be California State. These are 2 different venues. The first one is where statutory trust operates. The second is where domestic foreign trust operates. They're talking about the republic on the second one. Pay attention. Domestic means within the 50 states of the United States and not the United States of America, a corporation. Foreign means foreign to the federal government, also referred to as the U.S. government. All 50 states are foreign to the U.S. government, and no, we are not hallucinating. The United States government is a foreign corporation with respect to the state. All right? Now, that last sentence, become a celebrity when I'm going live. That last sentence is from Corpus Juris Secundum 1785. All right, now listen. All right. Here's what I'm asking you guys. Do you guys think that the Uniform Commercial Code applies to the IRS? It would make sense to me that the Uniform Commercial Code does apply to the IRS because it deals in commerce. The Uniform Commercial Code basically aligns all commerce pretty much all around the board, which brings one universal thing. So if there's any definitions and such that aren't specifically mentioned, if it's in the Uniform Commercial Code, it should fall under that. And we know that UCC 9-307 Section 8 says that the United States is located in Washington, D.C. So this is saying the opposite. The United States of America is what we talk about when we talk about the Republic. The United States of America, though, does have a Dun and Bradstreet number, and it's the all caps corporation. So that's the federal government, the United States of America. And again, that's the Dun and Bradstreet number. They're saying that the United States, they're talking about the actual states of the Union, pretty much, from the founding documents. That's what this book is talking about. So my question is, does this book have it wrong? does UCC 9-307 Section 8 define the United States as Washington, D.C., to which they have it backwards, or does it not apply to the IRS? That's my question to you guys. Because I've been talking to people and nobody really has straight answers for it. And then it says, it goes on to say, here's some more information on it. Evolving over the past 200 plus years, the federal government developed an intricate, confusing web of lies and deceit to hide the truth from the American people. We have not lost our mind. The IRS, though, recognizes the difference. The IRS recognizes the difference. Listen. And here are the legal sites so you can see we did not make this up. 26 United States Code 7701A 30 E and I defines the United States as a United States person as E. Any trust if a court within the United States is able to exercise primary supervision of the administration of that trust. And B, in that same section states, the term foreign trust means any trust other than a trust described in subparagraph E of paragraph 30. Then it breaks it down. This means trusts that do not have court-appointed trustees are not United States persons. All right? So basically, trusts can be set up in the republic, if we want to put it in layman's terms. Trust can be set up in the republic. All right? It's right there. Just read it for you. Just read it for you. All right, folks. We're coming up on that time where I'll go ahead and drop the link in the chat. And anybody who wants to hop in, please feel free to do so. Boom. All right, so Jimmy says, hold on, I got to read this. IRS also uses the Uniform Commercial Code as a tool of extortion to steal your substance under the guise of law. That's 100% true, but the question we have is, when they talk about U.S. persons, a U.S. person would basically be a U.S. citizen of such. And then they say, anybody who's doing business in the United States, which going by the Uniform Commercial Code would mean Washington, D.C., right? That's what it says on UCC 9-307 Section H. So if they're talking about doing business in the United States, that would mean people who are doing business in Washington, D.C. owe taxes, if I'm not mistaken. That's why I'm asking if the Uniform Commercial Code applies to IRS. If it doesn't, then that's a whole different thing. But if it does, the way I'm reading it is, if you're doing business in Washington, D.C., you owe taxes. That's the way I'm reading it. But, the legislative history of Federal Lien Act 1966, 89 to 719 explains that the entire taxing and monetary systems were placed. Okay, that's perfect. That's perfect. Jimmy just cracked the code right there. It says it right there. I'll become a celebrity when I'm going live, I swear. Give me a second. Hold on. Yeah, 100%. So, yeah, Jimmy just cracked the code right there. He just cracked the code. I'm about to write that bad boy down. I'm going to be researching that. All right. My bad. Sorry about that. But yeah, there we go. So yeah, I'm gonna be looking into that. But yeah, if it falls falls under the Uniform Commercial Code, the way we should be reading it is anywhere it says United States, we should be reading it Washington, D.C. That's how we should be reading it. That only makes sense. So we talking about U.S. persons, U.S. nationals, which I don't use that word at all. And y'all know why I don't use that word, because I ain't no damn U.S. national. I know I'm a U.S. citizen. Those are legal fictions. Anyone who holds a note is contracted claiming debt owed. Where'd you get that from, though? The UCC is the code that regulates all negotiable instruments. It was previously called Law Merchant and Negotiable Instrument Law. Okay, got you. Cool. Yep. Boom. So there you have it. Like I said, when I read that bad boy, that's what I read. But yeah, so I want to know where you read this at because it says anyone who holds a note is contracted claiming debt owed. But I would say to that, I would say if you have the UCC one filed and when you're doing business, you know what I mean, you're operating through a trust, that's a whole different thing. I mean, they don't have, um, your physical body in debt. They have the straw man or, ends legis in debt. That's the only thing they can really control because that's a corporation. They can only deal in corporations. They can only deal in your body when they volunteer you for a corporation, you know? Yes, sir. But there's the link right there. So if anybody wants to hop in, please do so. We can chop this fable. Give me a sec. I'm gonna be looking into what Jimmy just typed. I'm gonna start peeking at it now. Boom, there it is. Oh yeah, we got a good bit of reading to do this week. That's cool. I'm hitting the books, man. I'm hitting the books. Gotta hit the books. Absolutely, gotta hit the books. I suggest all of you do the same so we can discuss because I'm gonna start. I'm starting to look into trust and I'm starting to look into the IRS codes and things like that too. I find it interesting. So we about to get busy with that and start learning. Your body is held as surety to the vessel which operates in commerce, such as with debt instruments. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Yeah, but they have to do it through the ends legis though, 100%. But yeah, you are surety. That's why you have to when you properly file at UCC one, you're basically capturing the debtor and you're separating the difference between the debtor and the creditor. But yeah, great stuff, man. Great information. Great information there. Great information there. But yep. So yeah, like I was saying, man, just going back and reading a lot of these codes and stuff. When you read it with the proper knowledge, it reads differently. It reads completely differently than it does if you don't know exactly what certain words mean. And then you got to refer to other codes. You got to refer to other like books and things like that. Things they have in place, which basically try to encompass everything, but it's written in such a way where if you don't know what you're reading, you'll think something completely different of what it's supposed to mean. But that's the whole entire thing there. That goes back to the DC thing, you know what I mean? The confusion. Is it true you can use a 1099A as a negotiable instrument and the receipt will file recipient will file a 1096 to get the money no exchange? I've been looking into the 1099As because I've heard stories about people going to dealerships and being able to discharge cars, houses, all that cool stuff. And there's a guy that just posted it online about a month ago. So if that's the case, it is a new technique, but I'm not sure about it yet. I need to know more about it before I just, hop in head first. Because, people were doing that with them TDA accounts back in the day. When they said each dollar bill was printed at a certain mint and, you have a mint somewhere in the United States, territory or whatever. It was complex, but they were saying you got to take this routing number and this on the back of the social security card, and then you put them together, you can discharge that. But yeah, people got hemmed up for that though. 1099A is usable and other parties to file 1096, 1099 OID, 1040 isn't that what you were talking about last time, Jimmy? You were talking about that last time about getting them cars and shit. I think you were talking about that last time. True Secret, I'm looking into it about the RS phone. 1099A. Yeah. That's the hot thing on the streets right now. People talking about that 1099A. But I heard they work though. That's what I heard. I haven't done it. I did a 5-hour Zoom today with Chris. Yo, I saw Chris Hauser. He was the guy. He was the guy I was looking at that was talking about the 1099A. Yeah, Chris Hauser. Absolutely. Yeah, the guy says you go in and you got to talk to the have them talk to their accounting, and accounting will let you go ahead and do it. You probably have to come back the next day or something. But yeah, yep. In the past, people no explain to me why people got hemmed up for filing a 1099 OID. Tell me why people went to jail for that. What exactly did they do to go to jail for that? What happened? Break that down for me because I heard Yusuf L talking about that. But yeah, I'm gonna hit you up privately. Yeah, we'll talk about that privately. But yeah, I want to know exactly why people went to jail for it because I've heard stories about people swear up and down that 1099 OID works, but Yusuf L was like, "Look, I got footage on YouTube on Secure Party University or what is it SPC Secure Party something." But yeah, he was saying he had footage that they actually show people on that joint when people getting hemmed up because of that shit, filling it out incorrectly. How? I mean, but how though? I would say. I watch Chris House's videos, but I don't understand how to feel it. Yeah. And with stuff like that, you got to be surgical on how you fill that shit out. Surgical. Because if you fuck one word up, that's your ass. You got to be surgical with it. Fearless Floyd, that's what I'm a subscriber to him. Yo, Fearless Floyd's the guy, yo. Definitely hit him up. I'm going to hit up Fearless Floyd after we get off here. I'm going to be talking to him about it. Radiant Clone also has his videos on Patrick Devine. Patrick Devine, he very sharp dude, but he talks about a lot of stuff that I have not been able to get work for whatever reason. So I don't know about some of that stuff he talks about, but I'm not taking nothing away from him. Dude was freaking genius, but you're not supposed to find a 1099 OID. I heard that's what I heard. Yeah, I heard people was getting hemmed up for them 1099 OIDs. You know what I mean? I've heard about that. And they said you have to get the 1099 forms from the IRS. You can't print them offline. You got to get them from them. And the directions are right there. It tells you what to do with them. They were receiving treasury checks and cashing and spending them instead of discharging. Oh, okay. So they were committing fraud then, because those are for discharging debts. Those aren't for going out and buying shit. Got you. Yeah. That's ignorance. Yeah, that's ignorance. So they come in, they come scoop your ass up like you weren't supposed to be using that. You wasn't supposed to be using that for that, man. We know what you did with it. And he said he had a guy. I think Chris Hauser said there was a guy who was using the 1099As, and he was buying. Excuse me, wash my mouth. He was acquiring. We'll put it that way. He was acquiring cars, so he would use it and get a car and sell that to somebody for 60% of the price. So they could buy. Let's say they had a Toyota Supra 1997, right? So he would buy that, excuse me, he would acquire that joint with the 1099A, and then he would turn around and say, like, let's say he acquired it for 60 grand. He would turn around and sell it for about 40 to somebody else and then rack the 40. And then he would go, and I ain't giving nobody ideas because I'm listening to the whole story, hear the story out. So this went on for 8 months. So this guy was making cheese because he would 1099 the joints, get the joint, ride around for a week, you know what I mean, or a couple weeks or a month, flip it, and then get another joint and do the same thing. And he said he was home one day and the two motherfuckers came to his door and they was like, "Are you such and such?" He said he was scared as shit. He was like, "Yeah," he thought he was busted. He said one of the guys leaned in and the other guy backed up. And he said, "Nobody needs a new car every month." And then they just left. So the dude was like, "Yeah, I'm good. I had fun." He thought, and they knew what he thought. They was like, "Yeah, he think we coming to yank his ass up." But just telling him this shit and walking away is enough. Seeing them suits come up there and ask you, "Are you such and such?" and then say, "Nobody needs a new car every month," and then leave. That'll put you back in line real fast. That'll put your security party ass back in line real quick. But everybody. That's why I be certain shit I ain't gonna talk about on this channel, man. Certain shit I'm not gonna talk about on this channel because everybody don't need to know everything. Because some people don't know what the fuck to do with it. You know, this is a criticism. Yep, absolutely. He was getting greedy. Now, how about this? They know what he was doing with the 1099s, right? And they know how he was getting busy. Now they knew what he was doing. They're not stupid. They knew he was selling them motherfucking cars. Now, how about this? Now that you done sold them cars and you ain't report them on your taxes, now we coming back to fuck you up. You know what I mean? But yeah, so he was using the 1099As. Apparently, I haven't done it myself, so I don't know. I just heard about this process last week, but apparently there's a way to use the 1099As to acquire uh, items, so to speak. More so like things that you gotta like bigger purchases and stuff like that. I mean, you can discharge debt 1099. A 1099A is a promissory note, or not even a promissory note, negotiable instrument, which public law, HAL 192, public law 7310 basically says you have the right to discharge debt. So I mean, it makes sense, but like on the same token, you know what I mean? You can't have everybody doing it, or else they're gonna close that door. This is why I say I'm not gonna be out here putting certain stuff on this channel. We can talk about the surface, but we ain't gonna get into detail because you know what I mean. Some people don't know how to just govern themselves accordingly. Some people got to go overboard. They'll close the shit out of that door, and then you'll be fucked. And anybody who's in the process of using, they'll be fucked. You know what I mean? Yeah, he was getting greedy. Absolutely, Meech. Federal Reserve notes is a promissory. This note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. If one holds a note, they are contracted to the value of commodity metals, Bitcoin. I still say with Bitcoin is questionable on that tip, though. To be honest with you, I don't even think Bitcoin is 100% in the clear. I see what you mean, though, but I don't agree with that 100%. I don't, especially since they took away all the damn gold and silver and shit for the most part. That's being mass production. So I don't 100% agree with that. Yes, they'll drag you right down the hole with them. Some things spoken to us on the inside cannot be divulged publicly and privately like this one. Yep, that's why I say like some shit I ain't gonna talk about, bro. Some shit I ain't talking about. 1099C is the discharge debt. I figured that out too. Yeah. Yep. Like yeah, I'm not going into depth. I'm not going into even if and when I do learn how to do it, you ain't gonna hear about me talking about it on this channel. Like you won't even know I know it, you won't even know I even used it if I do. So nah, you know. Some shit just ain't public, man. People don't know how to govern themselves, man. People go overboard. People so used to the poverty mindset, they just go overboard, man. And it ain't for that. It's not for that. That's not what it's for. Cancellation of debt. They was putting wrong information in the 1099 OID form. That's how they was getting hemmed up. Yeah, it makes more sense to me though that they were using it to get greedy, because that's when people get hemmed up, when people use it, because people were using the numbers on the back of the social card, and they were using the what is it? I can't remember how it went. It was the numbers on the back of the card as the routing number, I think, and some other number. And I actually heard about people getting jammed up for that because people got greedy. People were buying cars. People started buying houses. You know what I mean? You had people that was poor and showing up with houses and shit like that, paid for, or excuse me, discharged completely and all that. And it's like, yo, you can't do that, yo. Like they telling all their boys that you got 10 people doing the same process and now you got 100 people. Nah, man, that's not how it works. That ain't how it works, man. That shit is private, bro. It's private. It's been fun. I'm doing a video on a real story about it. All right, man, no doubt, man. I'm gonna check you out after I'm done. Yes, sir. Yo, Patrick Devine was a machine, boy. I don't understand how Radiant Clone, they said he put all this information out before he passed. But yo, like all this information that he puts out, like these 5 hour uh videos and video informational channels and stuff, or pages or videos, whatever. The stuff that he puts out, basically, I'll be wondering how he put someone, because if you calculate all that stuff, that shit couldn't have happened in a year. It had to have been over a course of a few years. It's a lot of information this dude was dropping. Monetary is fiat, trade and barter by using nation's currency is contracting. It's not a nation really, it's more of a corporation. But I see what you mean, kinda. But I still kind of feel like with the HAR 192 and the fact that most places don't even accept gold and silver, it's kind of like a different string. You feel me? But I see what you mean. Yeah, I use acceptance for value, and Ally Bank got a little upset at the paperwork and had to pay through Western Union. Really, I'd be interested to know what I want to know what process you use. You said the acceptance for value process. I'm about to talk to you privately because I like to know which process you actually use on that. Yeah, man. But yeah, it's a sea of information out there, man. There's so many ways that people ask me how you discharge debt. It's so many ways to do it. It didn't accept paperwork. Yep. Yeah, man. A lot of these companies they don't play fair. They don't play right, man. They don't know. A lot of them don't know. The lower level functionaries just don't know. And then even when you get to the higher ups, they still treat you like you don't know shit. They try to treat you like you don't know nothing for real. When you go to discharge a debt or something like that, even if you go to the higher ups that know what the fuck it is and know what's going on, they try to treat you like you crazy. But that's how they do, you know. CFO. Yeah, I heard. Yeah, and that's another thing too. Lower level gatekeepers, you gotta bypass them. You can go to the CFO to help you out with that. The CFO is the one who takes them bad boys to the Federal Reserve and gets all that shit taken care of, so they know what it is. See, Truth, see, she know what it is. She know what time it is already. Who somebody was abusing the 1099A form? Who did? Who abused it? Oh, you talking about the guy with the whips? Yeah, he was tripping. He was fucking tripping. He lucky they ain't grab his ass up and throw his ass under the jail. You know, he was tripping. Yeah, speed reading technique. All right, so the speed reading technique is actually relatively simple. The first very simple one was you take a pen, right? And while you're reading, all you do is you just scroll like this. Boom. Like when you slide in the pen, you want to read the words as the pen's moving by. Like don't let the pen follow your reading. Let your reading follow the pen. And you can clear, it literally goes like this for me. Boom. Boom. And I picked this shit up so quick. And a lot of the words, you don't realize it, but you have a memory logged in from the way a lot of the words look. So like you're actually able to read a lot faster than you were when you weren't using. For me, I had trouble because when I would read, I would just read like this, and I would have to reread words and stuff like that and compound them to get it together. But like now, like I would literally just scroll through with the pen. Like for me to finally get a grasp on what I just read, I'd have to go back and read it. You know what I mean? Because like sometimes the way it's written just looks weird to me. I don't know if it's like some dyslexia shit or something going on, but I don't know. Probably. What was the speed reading thing? Oh yeah, we already went over that. But yeah, yeah. So yeah, just take a pen and just boom, like that. Let your reading follow the pen, and you can clear pages like pow, 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 pow. It's dope though. It's been very effective for me because I'm sliding through this book, and once I'm done with this joint, I'm gonna be reading. It's another book in here they had actually mentioned about talking about foreign trust more in depth. Excuse me, not foreign trust. About how the IRS works basically. So yeah, there's another book in here. I'm actually probably gonna end up grabbing that one. I want to finish reading this other book I just picked up. Let me read it all. Let me go grab it for you, show you. Yeah. All right, so yeah, I picked this joint up. I've been wanting to grab this for a while. My man Barricade Garage put me on with this. Shout out to Barricade Garage if you watching, my man. Thank you so much. But yeah, I had to get this bad boy. You already know that. Boom. Yep. So this is what I'm on next. After I read this trust book, I'm gonna get on this one here, and then I'm gonna get another trust book and another book. I'm gonna just start going through these bad boys with that speed reading technique, man. Just picking the information up stupid fast. Feel me? The pen help your mind Stay in order. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I get distracted easily from different stuff. Like I get distracted stupid easy. I used to have issues in school focusing because, well, first off, a lot of the shit was dumb and bullshit we learned about. So I knew it was bullshit. So I wasn't motivated to pay attention to it. And then the simple fact that I just didn't. It was hard for me to just stay focused on shit. You know, because I don't know if it's because I didn't deem it important or whatever. Maybe it's my spirit telling me, yeah, this is bullshit. Fuck this. How does a foreign national open a bank account? A lot of ways you can open a bank account, man. A lot of different ways. Some people use trust. Some people use estates. A lot of different ways you can do it. English got drawn out. Follow nouns and verbs. Pow, pow, pow. Yeah. When you don't do that most of the time, you lose where you was sometimes. Yeah, I see. That happens to me. Yo, what's a CPN number? I don't. If you want to know about CPN numbers, you gotta reach out to Tony. He got a book on CPNs, which that's another one I'm gonna get into. Also, I'm gonna look into them CPNs because I think that's gonna come in handy. So yeah. It's more of like a so like celebrities and stuff like that when they go buy Ferraris and Lambos, they protect their social security number by using a CPN. And a CPN is basically a private number, pretty much that masks your social. So what he was explaining to me was you can create your own entity, basically your own commercial entity. So you can like do a DBA with a CPN and such, and you can actually mask your social like that, hide the social. That way people don't take your shit. No, not yet. You already asked me that, man. I'm waiting for a foreign national over. Yes, yeah. It's ways you can do it, but um, I'm not 100% clear yet on how to do that. But from what I've heard, you can use your estate, or you can use the foreign trust. From what I understand, and they were saying that because they'll ask you for proof that the trust exists or something like that. I haven't done it yet, so y'all asking the wrong person just yet. That's why I got this book. That's why I got this. I'm trying to get to the bottom of it. But yeah, apparently they need a letter that the trust, and since it's a foreign trust, they basically need proof that it exists, which from what I understand, you can do with an affidavit. Yeah, I just explained that, Dustin. You asked me the same question, Chief. Everything is prepaid. All you have to do get in contact with the Treasury Department by the IRS forms are obligated to pay that debt. A CPN or credit privacy number is a 9-digit number that's formatted just like a social security number. It may also be called a credit profile number or credit protection number. Okay, there you go. Watch David Wynn Miller's seminar if you want a trump card to everything. Cool. I'm looking him up right now. So is David Wynn Miller? Is he the guy that does the estate? Because Yusuf was talking about a guy who specializes in the using the estate to discharge debt, and he was saying he would just come into court and appoint the judge as the trustee, and the judge would tell everybody to leave, and then he would basically instruct the judge on how to conduct the estate to discharge the debt. Yeah, I don't even see it. I don't even see it. I'm looking for it now. I don't see it. I'm gonna have to look into it. I can't. I don't see it though. I'm gonna have to look into that. Truth. That's private, Jules. That's private, man. Thank you so much, Mr. Dustin. Appreciate it, man. Check the PDF drive and download any type of book you want, bro. And I even seen. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I know you can get the PDF and all that stuff, and all you can download it, but I don't know, man. I just like to have the actual physical book in my hand, man. Because a lot of times, I don't feel like lugging a computer around because I got a laptop, and I don't be feeling like lugging that shit around. It's too much. It's a pain in the ass. If anything, when I'm gonna move, I really like to just do an audio book. Like, let's say for instance, I don't got time to this week or something like that to read. I'll go ahead and throw the audio book on and I'll pick up from the chapter I left off and go back and read it. You know what I mean? So I try to do that, but I like to have physical books in possession. You know what I'm talking about? That way I can refer back to them bad boys. I know how to make one. Yes, I'm aware of how to make one. He does parse, syntax, grammar, but he does. Somebody got him. Damn, it's crazy. Quantum grammar qualification. Okay. Now, what exactly is that? Like, what is the benefits of using syntax grammar? And they must have got him. It must have been important if they got him for that reason. He says everything is fraud down to the Bill of Rights and Constitution. Shit, it's heavy. Correct structures, correct sentence structure, parts of syntax grammar. Okay. Okay. David Wynn Miller is the best advice for making proper signature autograph. Yeah, I actually just picked that up not too long ago. So yeah, I've been getting busy with that too. Yeah, they got him out of there because he was talking too much truth. That's why they got him out. They always do that, yo. When somebody break some shit down and you know really cut it out dry so everybody can look at it and pick it up in a simple language, that's it. They gone. Yeah, hit my email definitely. I want y'all to email me that, please. Send me that. Man, it said the Bill of Rights is fraud. Holy shit. I gotta read that. That's deep. Oh man, y'all talking some truth tonight, huh? Y'all dropping bars upon these scars. Sheesh. Man, that's wild. But yeah, oh shit, how did I miss that? Hold on. And and I seen even the Crystal Bible book yet. Yeah, the Crystal Bible. Yep. Yeah, the Crystal Bible is dope. It's dope. Great. I love that book, man. It's a great book. I was glad I purchased it. Yo, the industry. We just talked about that for you got in here, Jules. The industry. I was good looking out on that, yo. But everybody here need to be looking at the industry hoax, man, because the information put out on that channel was crazy. Crazy. Like, yo, man, the Tupac thing. I already knew about Tupac, Jules. I was already abreast of the Tupac knowledge, but the Nipsey Hussle shit, that shit was crazy. Like they actually showed Nipsey Hussle on the ground moving. When he supposed to be dead and shit, they actually showed him moving on the ground. I was like, what the fuck is this shit? But that was crazy, like the George Floyd shit, man. When it was the dummy legs and shit, or dummy with no legs. I was like, yo, nigga, this shit crazy. That shit blew me away, man. That was wild. Yeah, but I mean, I'm not surprised by anything anymore because everything is manufactured to make you think a certain way. You know? Okay. Federal postal judge. That's interesting. So I do have some information for you guys. I know I don't I'm gonna have to get them on the channel. So I'm gonna talk to them. But there is a foreign national, state citizen, whatever you want to call it, basically, who got hemmed up for the Second Amendment with the passport. Now, I'm trying to. We talked about this before. The guy was in a motorcycle accident. He was knocked out conscious, and he had an arm in his bag, and he fell off the motorcycle. Of course, the police officer goes in his bag to get his identification, and he gets the passport. So he gets the passport, and then he ends up going in the hospital. Of course, now while he's in the hospital, the nurse asks him for his address, and he gave them the in care of address. And instead of writing in care of, they basically just put that as his permanent address. And he ended up getting arrested. So there was a case he actually had to deal with. He went to do a hearing, and he went before the judge. He told the judge basically he had stated he had the right to know the nature and cause of the actions being brought against him, and this, that, and the third. And then he asked the judge what is it? What did he say? what delegation of authority are you working? That's what he said. What delegation of authority are you working under? And then as soon as he said that, the bailiff was like, "Come on, let's go." Bailiff put him back in jail. He ended up getting out. Uh, so he's awaiting his trial. So it took a while for him to set his trial. It took months. So he finally heard something back. He got a trial date, and he just went to trial last week. And I gotta get him on here to talk to you guys. But in so many words, not guilty. Not guilty. In so many words. So yeah, I'm gonna see if I can get him to come on here and talk about the case. The case is public record. So if you guys, when he gets on here, once he talks about it, if you want to look it up, you can do it yourself. But yeah, yes, sir. So that some of the Second Amendment stuff actually turned out to be facts in terms of the passport. Now, keep in mind, this guy's an ex-felon. So yeah. He says, yeah, George Floyd was set up too. I think it has to do with geometry, coding, number of words. Okay. Yeah, I believe that 100%. He, David, has two students that survived. One named, what was it, a car accident or something? Shit. Floyd was dead 2 years before this fakery happened. Really? I thought it was a mask they were wearing. I thought it was a mask and it was fucking made up and shit. Yeah, Mark Christopher has more educational videos. Good luck emailing him, though. He's very formatted in his communication. Okay. Mark Christopher. Okay, so this syntax. Give me a brief rundown on how this works, because I'm new to this thing. I'm gonna learn this week though. The syntax grammar. I know it says some of that stuff is fraud. That there's supposed to be like the Bill of Rights and all that is fraud. So break that down for me. How does this apply to everything? It says students survive. What happened, yo? What happened? English is fraud. Yo, y'all gotta break that down. Y'all dumping a lot on me and y'all not picking it apart. Mark Christopher is expanding his league of quantum judges. I'm really not trying to play around with it because judges have been disbarred and gone to jail. Damn. It said English is fraud. David Wynn got banned from certain countries, but he became untouchable. It would seem like the Jesus of law. What? How did he get that? The syntax grammar is math and it says the same thing forward as it does backwards, which stands the test of time. Okay. I heard the court is set up like a trust, and right off the back, let the judge know off the back that you're the beneficiary, and they trying to get you, the man or woman, to be the trustee. Okay. Man, I got a lot of studying to do this week. Y'all making more stuff for me to read and learn. Not that I have a problem with that. I love it. It's the whole point of me being on here to learn and read off and tell you guys what I've learned. All right, so we rolling up on 2 hours. I'll drop the link one more time. If not, I'm gonna go ahead and clock out for the night for you guys. It looks like I got my work cut out for me today in terms of the learning. Actually, this week. He says ab original equals no. Original, that ab equals no. Shit. Watch all of David Wynn's videos, or at least the two I posted before touching that knowledge. Okay. Sorry, it's hard to understand. Okay. In the English language, the proper way to put together words, verbs, conjunctions, etc., need to be formal example. Okay. Mark Trump's Mark trumps the Constitution by natural law, claiming jurisdiction in common law courts. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. If you guys want to donate to the Cash App, it's right there in the description section. Example, okay. Document, contract, federal, postal, vessel, federal court venue is quantum grammar. Okay. So it's just a bunch of descriptions, it looks like, right? Proceed with caution on it and know how it works to be able to walk the walk. Okay. Which means that everything is not a similar format. It means it was made a fraud and void in its formatting. So now look at everything not put together. Right, that's confusing. I'm gonna have to look into it. Y'all are talking, and I'm reading what y'all talking, but it's not clicking just yet. Like, I see what Jimmy's talking about with the. It looks like a bunch of descriptions with the dashes, but I need to get. Yeah, yeah, I got you. I'm gonna get into the David one and see what's going on. Says another example of proper grammar for this claimant's knowledge of the facts is with the claim of the voidance with the fictitious non-ambiguous dead entity of the. Huh. Okay. Wow. Interesting. That's deep. Yeah, I'm about to get into it, man. Y'all got me on it now. I gotta find his channel real quick. Is it a YouTube channel? Or is it just two videos he has? Because I just put in David Wynn Miller and it's not coming up. I see the eulogy. So hold up, David Wynn Miller was shot. So somebody smoked him. Man, that's crazy. Hold on a sec. I'm looking now. I'm making sure I'm following the right channel. Does he have a YouTube channel or is it just random videos? They say he passed away. He said he died like 8 times before. What the WTF? Okay. Looks like I got some information to look into. All right. Yeah, that's deep. Okay, folks. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. Very great to have you guys here. We exchanged a lot of good information today, and I'll be looking into the David Wynn Miller syntax grammar thing. Sounds interesting. I like stuff like that. If you guys have any other things you want to send me, hit my emails right there in the description section. Please, everybody, we got 24 heads in here. Everybody hit the like button. That'd be great. Along with that, if you guys want to leave a donation, I would greatly appreciate that too. The Cash App is right there in the section. For the bridge, for the waters under the bridge was supposed to be able to read sentences frontwards and backwards. You mean like Yoda and shit? Dope, dope, dope. I feel you. Peace out, Chris. Thanks for tuning in. But yes, sir. So it is the Foreign National Born Natural A6. I will be back Sunday. If I do have anything to report this current week, I will be either posting a post on my channel, just like a regular post, like talking, showing a picture or something to demonstrate what I'm talking about, or I'll drop a little small video, depending on if I have something to mention. If not, I'll just put it in the archive and we'll talk about it next Sunday. But you know how we do. Same time, same rhyme. I'll holler at y'all. Peace out.